All right, so now we're live on Facebook. So, hi, Barry. Welcome.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, so let's keep the ball rolling.
Begin. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining in. So, what do we have today? I wanted to do a lecture on writing task 1, academic, because I know that this is an area that a lot of students have difficulty with. Okay, so I wanted to give you as much information as possible. All right, so we've already started. Excellent. Okay, so we've got where are we today? July 20th, Tuesday, middle of the year already. Where is it going? It's going so fast. So thank you again. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So let's keep going with the slides. We've got some more background information before we begin. Yeah, so what's this? Eid Adha. I'm not familiar with Adha. I do know Eid Mubarak. I think that's the same thing, isn't it? So yeah, it's a special day for Muslims today. So wishing all the best. Okay. And that's today. I think it will last for a few weeks. I think a few weeks or a few months. I'm not sure. Okay. Today, just some rules. Not really rules. Just things to help us have a better experience. So this lecture is for you guys. Please, therefore, stop me if you're not sure. Okay. I really, honestly don't mind. If you have a question, you can type this in the, I think the comment box, the chat box. There's no Q&A box. So there is a chat box. You can type your message on screen. I will be having a Q&A session at the end later on today. So if you want to wait, that's fine. Hopefully we can spend about 20-25 minutes or so at the end of today just looking at any questions that you might have for writing or for writing task 1. Okay. As I mentioned, I do want you to enjoy today. So yeah, please let me know if there's anything you're not sure about. I'm happy to answer your questions. Okay. There will be information about review programs and helping you prepare for your Ielts that World English Reviews can offer you. And I'm going to do that at the end of the session. So if you make it through to the end, that sounds like a challenge. At the end of the session, I'm going to give you information on pricing, what we can offer you to help you achieve your band score. Okay, let's keep going. So just a little bit of background about me. So I'll be your main speaker or your only speaker today. My name is Barry. So I'm actually born, or I was born in the UK, in England. And when I was in the UK, I actually spent 15 years as a lawyer. It's a long time. People always ask me, why did I stop being a lawyer and become a teacher? Well, after 15 years, I just needed a new challenge. So I actually retrained, became a teacher in 2016, and honestly, absolutely love being a teacher. It's such a rewarding experience, meeting new people, helping them with their difficulties, watching them grow and develop. So it is something that I'm really passionate about. I have trained, of course, for Ielts, both general training and academic. And I do also do general English and business English as well. No surprise. Yeah, I am a band 9. Okay. I would just want to mention one thing about the band 9, though. Don't expect all native English speakers to be a band 9. It does take a lot of practice to work out what do the examiners want you to do? You know, how to write a report, how to write an essay, what to say in the speaking exam. So it does take a lot of practice to get to a 9. I also have a number of qualifications that help me to train students, to get the best out of the students and to get them to develop and progress the most. One of my main qualifications is CELTA. This is actually run by Cambridge English, so recognized all over the world. And I also have a Master Diploma in TESOL and TEFL certificates in addition. So definitely lots of experience in training people just like you to get the band score that they need. Okay, already answered my question. Yeah, okay, good. All right, yeah, changed my career. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, people do ask me that quite often. One of our other hosts, not here today, is Lee, and also a wealth of experience in training. Started teaching back in 2005, so what's that, 16 years ago. Of course, teaches Ielts, also OET as well, quite popular with the nursing profession, OET, civil service exam preparation, and also call center training. Another band 9. Okay, just be aware of who's training you. You know, there are so many preparation companies out there that want to help you with their IELTS. Do you really want to be trained by somebody that's got a 6 or a 6.5? I've seen lots of trainers out there that are just, wow, making a lot of mistakes, shall I say. So be careful, it's your money. Don't be afraid to ask the important questions. You know, what's your experience? What's your qualifications? How many years have you been doing this? Make sure that you get the best trainers. Okay. Lee also works with civil service eligibility, and again, another CELTA qualified teacher, and TEFL and TESOL qualifications as well. Yeah, Lee, native Filipino, so not a British accent like me, but still possible to get a band 9. Okay, it's definitely possible. Speaking exam, it's not really about your accent. It's about pronouncing the words clearly. Okay, let's keep going. Next. So yeah, I mentioned I wanted to focus on writing task 1 today. And because so many of you are nurses, it's very popular that you will be taking the academic part of IELTS. So I want to look at writing a report. That's what I want to focus on today. A very difficult part of IELTS. Why is it so difficult? I talked to a number of students and asked them why they find it so hard. And a lot of people tell me that they just don't write reports like this in their everyday life. It's not a skill that many people have. So it does take practice to develop. Okay, how many times do you look at a graph or a chart and have to analyze it? Not very often. So it is a difficult skill. And also writing in general is very difficult because you have to create the answer. Okay, you can't find the answer like the reading. You won't hear the answer like listening. So it's a difficult part of the IELTS exam. Hopefully today, I can give you lots of information. And by the end of today, by 5 o'clock, you should all hopefully be feeling really confident about writing task 1. Okay, hopefully. Okay, let's keep going. Next. Okay, so I want to begin by talking about what to expect in the exam. Okay, so most students are taking the paper-based exam, which is normally taken on a Saturday. You'll have your listening, the first exam at 9 o'clock, and then reading at 10 o'clock. Just when you're getting tired and hungry, they hit you with the writing exam, which will start at 11 o'clock. If you're taking the computer-based exam, there are other schedules available, more flexibility. Just a quick point that I want to mention about the computer-based Ielts, it does not mean online. Okay, so you can't take it from home. It just simply means that you arrive at the test center and you will be directed to a computer workstation and you will input your answers on computer at the test center. It has to be secure. It has to be safe. You know, we can't rely on everybody's internet connection. And there could be somebody in the background, somebody in the same room, materials on the desk. So it has to be the same exam for everybody to guarantee a good and accurate result. So paper-based or computer, the writing exam, it's actually different for general training and academic. General training, task 1, you will have to write a letter. So dear, name, and then write your letter. I think most of you here will be interested in the academic IELTS. So again, that's what I want to focus on. The instructions, always the same, every task 1 question, you must write a minimum of 150 words. So any idea, let's check that you're all awake. Chat box for your answers. What happens if you don't write 150 words? Okay, any idea? What do you think? So let me know on the chat box what's going to happen. For example, you write 130 words, maybe. What will happen? So let me know in the chat box. Yeah, good. So answer from Bunny. Problem with task achievement. Yeah, decrease, not CC, no. Coherence and cohesion. I'm going to talk about that later, actually. But it's not CC, not coherence and cohesion. It is task achievement. Any idea what they're going to do? What will they do? It will be a penalty if you write less than 150 words. Maria, you're saying 5 as your band score. Not automatically. No, there is a penalty. Don't worry, I will tell you. The penalty is actually -1 on your band score. And that's for task achievement. So you were correct. The area that's affected is task achievement. Why task achievement? Well, because you've not followed the instructions. You haven't fully achieved the task. So if you're between 100 and 149, it's -1. If you're below 100, it's actually -2. So big deduction. Again, I'm going to give you lots of ideas today that will hopefully help you write more than 150 words for every report that you write. I want to make sure that you always follow that instruction. Really important. What else? You should spend about 20 minutes writing your report. I just want to highlight the word should. It's not a requirement, okay? It's not mandatory. It's not enforced. You should. It's a suggestion. Spend about 20 minutes, okay? In the writing exam, you're given 1 hour and you actually have to produce 2 pieces of writing within the hour, okay? So task 2 is actually bigger and it's recommended or suggested that you should spend about 40 minutes on task 2, okay? So that's the split, but you must manage your own time. They will not tell you 20 minutes has finished, now begin task 2. It's very easy to go over. To be honest, the first time I looked at task 1, I think it took me about 35 minutes, okay? How did I improve? Practice, practice, practice. Now, generally, I can do task 1 around 15 minutes, maybe a little bit under. Why am I able, or how am I able to get it done so fast? Well, I'm doing the same thing again and again. I know what to look for. I know how to prepare and how to structure the answers. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. You know, doesn't matter what the question is, whether it's a graph, a pie chart, a table, I'm going to look at it in the same way. Okay, I'm going to look for the same things. I'm going to put that into my report in the same way. And that's going to help you save time because you know how to write the report. One or two more things. I want to mention the style of writing. And this is important. The style of writing should be formal. So that means that it's a serious piece of writing. Okay, no jokes. It's not casual. So also no abbreviations as well. Words like can't, isn't, I'm should not be used in writing task one. If you want to phrase your sentences using those kind of phrases, it should be 2 words only. So I am, cannot, is not, always 2 words, no apostrophe, no contractions. Writing style is formal and polite. So I mentioned that you must produce 2 pieces of writing within the hour. Okay, so you've got task 1 and you've also got task 2 as well. Okay, so what about the weighting? You only get 1 band score for writing. Okay, 1 band score overall. And it's split from task 1 and task 2. Okay, but task 1 only accounts for 1/3 of your overall band score. So that's about 33%. Therefore, task 2 is the balance. And that means task 2 is 2/3 of your overall band score, or approximately 67%. So clearly, task 2 is the most important piece of writing, but that does not mean that you can forget about task 1, okay? The theme of today is to give you an approach, to give you a strategy that you can use for any question, and hopefully that you can do it in less than 20 minutes, okay? I want to get task 1 done quickly, efficiently. I want to get the best band score I can in the quickest amount of time, which will give me more time to focus on task 2. That's my opinion. That's what I want to do. Okay, then let's keep going. Next slide. Okay, I want to have a look at some sample questions. Okay, what do they look like? So if you've never looked at writing task 1 question, I've got a few samples here just for you to have a quick look at. Okay, I'm not going to work through these just yet. We've got some other examples that I want to have a look at. So we've got writing task 1. Again, it tells you on the question, you should spend about 20 minutes on the task. It also tells you that you should be writing at least 150 words. There is no maximum, by the way. Okay, so you will not be penalized if you write 200, 300, 1,000 words. There's no penalty. However, you should be doing it in less than 20. And there's only so much that you can write about the data here. So my advice is to aim for around 170, maybe 180. That's a good target to aim for. The more that you write, the more time it's going to take. And of course, the more that you write, the more chance you have of making a mistake, going off topic, maybe adding things that you're not asked about, maybe your opinion, which you are not asked to do. So about 170 to 180 is a good target. You can definitely get a 9 with 170, 180, absolutely. So we have a sample question here. Let's just have a look. The graph below shows the average daily spending of 3 categories of international visitors to New Zealand from 1997 to 2017. So we've got 3 different colors. We've got the years going from left to right, starting in 1997, and then ending on the right-hand side in 2017. We've got going from bottom all the way to top. We've got the dollar signs, so we've got amounts. Okay, how much did they spend? It's obviously in dollars. And then we've got 3 different colors. We've got spending for business, spending for holiday vacation, and then spending for visiting friends or relatives. Okay. I just wanted to show a few samples just to help you look for the trends, look for patterns. Okay, look for things that stand out. For me on this question, all 3 start off increasing. They hit their highest point and then decrease. And then there seems to be some fluctuation for the last maybe 2/3 of the period. Okay, the brown business started as the highest, finished in the middle. The blue going on holiday vacation started in the middle and finished as the highest, while the pink going to visit friends or relatives started at the lowest and remained the lowest for the whole period. So look for these trends. Okay, let's have a look at some more sample questions. Next. Okay, another New Zealand one, purely by coincidence. Okay, wasn't planned. But here's another New Zealand question. The chart below shows information about the most common sports that are played in New Zealand in 2002. Again, you've got to write 150 words. It doesn't say, but you should spend about 20 minutes. Same question, by the way. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So we've got lots of different sports: cricket, athletics, martial arts, and so on the left-hand side. And then we've got the percentages from 0 up to 30, going from left to right. And then orange and blue, girls and boys. Okay. This is a nice example because it highlights my approach, okay? I think a lot of people that look at these questions for the first time, they have the OMG reaction. You know, where do I begin? Oh my God, how do I put all of this information into a report in less than 20 minutes and get a high band score? How do I do it? Where do I start? Where do I begin? So here's the trick. Okay, well, in fact, it's not really a trick. Here's the technique. Look for 2 groups. Look for group 1 and look for group 2. Okay, there's normally a very common answer to your question. Look at the categories. Look at the percentages. Look at the different categories or groups, maybe. Could I split this based on the sport? Difficult. Cricket, for example, is there anything similar to cricket? Not really, and not in terms of the percentages. Athletics, anything similar? No. Martial arts, no. Basketball and tennis, close, but then netball, complete. So I can't think of putting some of the sports in one group and then some of the sports in another group. Some of you might have already thought of the right answer here. Yeah, girls and boys, orange and blue. Okay, so split the data into 2. Think about presenting the data for one of the sections first. So let's go with girls. Okay, think about girls first. Now, when you're looking at this question, you're only looking at the orange. Anything in blue you can ignore. So let's just focus on the orange. What's the most important thing in orange? It stands out, netball. Okay, netball is first. What's second? Swimming. Then other sports that are not listed, tennis, basketball, so on. And the girls, they really don't like cricket. Okay, you can see the order. So that's how I'm going to put it into my report. That's the order that I will follow. When I finish talking about the girls, I'll move on to the boys. Again, look for the most important for the blue. Soccer, okay? Yeah, it's really called football for me. In the UK, always football, never soccer. Soccer just sounds so American. Anyway, so I'm going to say soccer here, the most important. Then other sports that are not listed, swimming, cricket, martial arts, and so on. Oh, the boys don't like netball. Okay, again, follow the same pattern. Look for the most important and work your way down to the least important. Okay, we've got another sample question to have a look at. So next. What's going on here? No numbers. We have a flow chart. Okay, they do appear from time to time in writing task 1. Not as popular as the line graphs or the bar charts, but they do appear. So what are we looking at here? Well, how many steps are there? That's an important factor. Yeah, this is a process or a flow chart. So we've got the digger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 steps in total. That's something that I can talk about. Of course, I'm going to start with the digger. Describe what you can see as well, though. The digger, it's removing the clay from the earth. It's a large mechanical machine going onto the roller. Sand and water are added. 2 different options. So I'm going to follow it all the way through. I do think the flowcharts or the processes are actually easier because if you think about it, you're just describing what you can see. There's not really much analysis. Nothing's increasing, nothing is decreasing. There's nothing bigger than the other. Just describe what you can see. So flowcharts, nice and easy. That's why they don't appear too often, because they are easier. But again, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features. Really, talk about every step. That's it. You can't miss anything out here. Make comparisons where relevant. Does not apply. You can't compare step 6 with step 3. No. So just talk about what you can see and follow it all the way through. But this is, a question that does come up from time to time in writing task 1. All right, let's continue. Okay, so I do think this is really important. How is your writing graded? And really, we can rephrase this question. What do you need to do to get a high band score? That's what it's really saying. So let's reveal. Let's reveal how is your writing graded. So you will be graded on 4 different areas. Okay, let's reveal them all. We've got task response or task achievement. It's the same thing. We've got coherence and cohesion. We mentioned that earlier this afternoon. Lexical resource and grammatical range and accuracy. So it's really helpful for you to understand what needs to go into your report. Okay, how do I get a high band score for task response or task achievement? How do I get a high band score for lexical resource or coherence and cohesion? So I'm going to give you the answer. Okay, and if you can memorize all of this information, every report that you write should focus on these 4 areas. Okay, and that's going to get you a nice high band score. So we're going to start with task response or task achievement. It's quite often called. So let's find out in more detail next. Okay, yeah, all 4. Okay, so yeah, task achievement. I'm going to start, of course, with the band 5. Okay, we want to be better than this. but there's some important information here. No clear overview. Yeah, a lot of students just think, okay, I'm going to have an overview, finished, but it needs to be clear. I've seen quite a lot of, I've seen many task one reports, and the overview just doesn't tell you anything. It's really vague or not specific. Overviews like, it can clearly be seen that there are lots of changes. Okay, thanks. That does not help me. Okay, it can clearly be seen that over time, it goes up and down, right? But you need to identify the key trends. That's what an overview is all about. And I quite often compare the overview to a movie trailer. Okay, so think about the movie trailer. A good trailer to a movie should get your attention. It should tell you what's going to happen, not in detail. Okay, so we shouldn't have any numbers or data in an overview, but it should be telling you, hey, look out for this one. It started as the most important, but by the end, it was in last place. And I'm going to tell you the numbers in my body paragraphs. So a good overview should identify not just one key feature, but as many key features as possible. Band 5, what else? The key features not covered. So again, you're only identifying one or two. You've not identified the trends or the patterns. Too much detail, I very, very rarely see this in a band 5. So I'm not going to focus on that bullet point. But this one is important. No data to support. What is data? Well, data is the numbers, the percentages, the cost, the currencies, the dates, the years, the months. Okay, so if you just say, what was our earlier question? There was different sports in New Zealand. No, I'm not going to say soccer. One of the most popular sports for the boys was football. That's it. That's all I say. Well, I've not supported that statement. I've told you that it's the most popular sport, but I've not revealed any numbers. So I need to say, 35%, 36%. If I'm talking about the spending, again, in New Zealand, how much? I need to say it was $200 in 2015 was spent going to see friends and family. I need the currency, I need the number to support the statement. If you're not using the numbers or the data, automatically a 5. And of course, inaccurate information. If the report or if the chart says $250, yeah, silly mistake. If you say 25, wrong, automatically a 5. Okay, you've got to be able to copy the right units from the question to your report. And of course, if you're getting it wrong as well, if you're looking at the wrong colors and referring to the wrong items, if you're saying that it increases, but actually it's going down, it's going to give you a 5. You're not reporting accurate information, and it needs to be. So those are the elements of a 5. What about a band 6, which I find most students average the 6, okay? So what's happening here? Well, now we have an overview and we are highlighting the key features adequately. What does adequately mean? Well, okay, middle, average, not amazing, but not terrible. So in the middle is adequately. The information is well selected. Yeah, okay. Some information may be inaccurate. So you're allowed one mistake, maybe 2 at the absolute most. Anything more than that, and you're dropping down to the 5. Okay, but we're improving. Now, what about the 7? So this is where a lot of students want to aim for. So not just having an overview, but we now have a clear overview. Okay, and we are highlighting the key features. That's the same. Okay, that's kind of similar to the 6. But now, yeah, we've got no inaccurate information. Good. Maybe we could, some areas could be better developed. But overall, we've got all the key features, we've mentioned them, we've done it correctly, and we have a clear overview. The overview is actually really important. And a lot of students just don't think of the overview as an important element, but it really, really is. So what about the 8? A clear overview? Well, that's the same, isn't it? That's the same as the 7. Key features are clearly highlighted and well illustrated. Okay. So just a little bit more detail than the 7. All requirements are sufficiently covered. Okay, so you fully answer the question. That's going to get you an 8 for task achievement. Fully answering the question. One thing that a lot of students miss is the comparisons. I mentioned that you don't need a comparison for a flow chart or a process, but for a graph, bar chart, pie chart, comparisons are important. They're part of the question. So again, if you can tick all of the bullet points for the 8, that's where you want to be aiming. A nice overview, identify the key features, and fully answer the question. So I want to give you some more tips on how to get a high band score for task achievement. So let's continue. Okay, so yeah, you've got to analyze the chart. You've got to spot these features. Okay, what are the important or interesting sections of the diagram? You must highlight them in an overview. So your key features should be in the overview. You've got to use the data using numbers and dates or currency or time. You've got to use the actual numbers. No mistakes. Of course, no opinion. All right, I don't want to see why. Why do you think it's increasing? Okay, why did it decrease in 2020? Probably because of COVID. But you don't need to say that. You're not being asked. Okay, just say it decreased in 2020. That's it. Report the numbers. Tell me the percentages. Of course, you need to make comparisons, quite often overlooked. And yes, you've got to follow the instructions with more than 150 words. Okay, so these are the points that you've got to follow. And if you can achieve all of these, high band score, task achievement. Okay, was there a question? Somebody have a question there? No? Okay, no, don't worry. If you do have a question, by the way, again, please stop me. I honestly don't mind. All right, let's continue. So the next area, coherence and cohesion. So just remember that this is 2 parts, okay, 2 parts to this section. And I'm going to split the table, okay, so you can clearly see the 2 parts. What do we have? Here we go, there. Okay, so we've got coherence to begin with. What is coherence? So really, it is your paragraph structure. Okay, that's coherence. Do you have a logical structure to your report? I believe that it's actually easy to get an 8 or above or a 9 for coherence. I'm going to give you the paragraph structure, and that's it. Just follow. Simple. Can't go wrong, really. The area that a lot of students have a problem with is the cohesion, though. So what is cohesion? It is your linking words. And remember, you've got to get them both right. All right, it's no good having the perfect paragraph structure, but you're not using linking words. So again, let's start with the band 5. Okay, let's have a look at the key elements. I'm just going to look at paragraphs for now. Coherence. All right, so some organization may not use paragraphs. Okay, so we're talking about a report that's just long and continuous. It might have one long paragraph or maybe two. Okay, so 1 or 2 paragraphs only, automatically a 5. That's the maximum that you can get here. So you've got to do better than just 1 or 2 paragraphs. What's next? The 6 organizes information coherently. So basically uses paragraphs, but always logically, always like that should be, there's a word missing there. Let me add that in, but not always logically. Yeah, you've got some paragraphs, but is there a reason for the split? Okay, or is it just simply, I've written 4 or 5 lines, that's enough. Let's move on to the next paragraph. So that will get you a 6. I think most people can do better. Looking at the, oops, let me erase that. Let me change that to highlighter. Okay, there we go, that's better. So the 7 logically organizes information, good paragraphing, 1 central topic for each paragraph. Again, I think that's actually quite easy to achieve. And most students actually do this. Maybe not the first attempt, but with a little bit of practice, most students are organizing their reports. But yeah, let's check the 8. Information and ideas are organized logically. Paragraphing is sufficient. Again, pretty similar to the 7. And I'm going to show you a nice simple answer to organize your paragraphs to get a high band score. Really easy. So that just means that you've got to focus on your linking words only. All right, so again, let's go back to the 5. You're using linking devices, but we've got mistakes, or they're inappropriate, or they're repetitive. You're using the same linking devices again and again. I'm going to look at these in more detail, but basically, we're talking about words like also. Okay, there is a cohesive device. I'm going to give you more information, also. If you keep repeating it, also, the boys liked cricket, also, one of their preferred sports is tennis, also, they like volleyball, and also martial arts. Okay, also, maximum 5. Okay, I need to do better than that. So what about the 6? Again, we're using linking devices. There may be some errors, okay, and it's not always clear. So that's kind of average, an average use of cohesive devices. Again, the 7, now we have a range. Okay, a range, not just using one. Maybe over or under use. Okay, it's actually more common to be under use, and good referencing. We'll get you a 7. However, the 8s, managing or manages all aspects of linking, no problems with referencing. So we've got a nice selection of cohesive devices. Again, I'm going to give you the answer. It's quite simple. And I'm going to show you the cohesive devices that you should be using. So let's find out next. Okay, we're going to start with coherence, which is paragraphs. And for me, here is the answer. Always 3 paragraphs. That's it. Always have 3 paragraphs. I do recommend to leave a 2-line gap in between every in between every paragraph. It just makes it really clear and it stands out. And also it gives you the chance to go back and edit, add in something extra if you've missed something out of your report. But 3 paragraphs, and yes, you should be planning before you start writing. Let's have a look at those 3 paragraphs. So next. There we go. 3 paragraphs, intro and overview, split the data into 2. So you can talk about the girls in paragraph 2 and the boys in paragraph 3. Look for the logical split. Maybe it's the most expensive in group 1 and the least expensive in group 2. Maybe it's time. Okay, group 1 is all about 1960 and group 2 is all about 1990 maybe. Depends on the question. Look for the split. There's your 3 paragraphs. That's going to get you a high band score for coherence. But what about cohesion? Let's find out next. Okay, linking words, cohesive devices. They really help the reader to understand your writing. They describe the meaning. Okay, make it really, really easy to read. And most students, this is where they're missing out on their band score. They're not meeting the requirements for linking words. You don't need to master them all. Okay, there are thousands, but I do want to give you a selection of cohesive devices that are really good for Ielts. So let's have a look next. Here we go. So we've got a selection of cohesive devices on the right and where to put them on the left. So introducing your overview, we've got some selections here. Overall, generally, we can see that. My favorite, it can clearly be seen that I use this every paragraph 1 to introduce my overview. Paragraph 2, the beginning, firstly, initially to begin with. Continuing, additionally, in addition, furthermore, and so on. Change, however, but, although, I really like, on the other hand. And of course, you've got one more thing to say and then it's over. Lastly or finally. For me, what you've got on screen there is enough to get a high band score in Ielts. So you should be able to use these words accurately in your report. And the good news is they actually work really well in task 2 as well. So well worth spending a bit of time on cohesive devices. Okay, just checking the time, 10 to 4. So there's quite a lot to get through. I'm going to go a little quicker. Let's keep going. Okay, lexical resource. Okay, again, I'm going to go a bit quicker, but a minimal range of vocabulary, frequent errors, problems cause difficulty. So yeah, the words that you're using, that's lexical resource is vocabulary. What about the 6? Okay, now we're getting to an adequate range. We've got some less common, but with errors. And we've got spelling problems, but the communication is clear. They understand what you're trying to say. Of course, we want to get better. We want to get into the 7s and above, a sufficient range. We've got some less common words, awareness of style and collocation, but now only an occasional error in spelling or word choice. Of course, if we want to get even better, the 8, again, a wide range, skillfully and rare errors. So we're talking about the words that you're using. Are you using them accurately? If you're repeating them, then you do not have a wide range. It's impossible to get an 8 or above if you're repeating the key word. So you should be able to talk about an increase or a decrease without repeating those words again and again and again. They are quite common for writing task 1. So I do want to look at some good vocabulary next. Let's reveal. Okay, next slide. So this is for an increase. All right, we've got 5 nice words, some nice vocabulary. Soar, leap, climb, rocket, and surge. Some really good word choice to describe an increase. I find that the word increase is pretty boring. It's pretty common. Yes, it's easy to understand, but we've got such great vocabulary here. Let's have a look at actually using these words in a sentence. So let's continue. Here we go. So the use of water soared in March. So a big increase. What about leap? Prices leapt. Again, just check the form of the word leap. Past tense, the prices leapt to 90%. Climb, again, past tense, populations climbed. Past tense. Rocket, use of cars rocketed in the first decade. Or surge, again, that's kept the same. A surge of migration is seen in November. But yeah, it's much better than an increase of migration is seen in November. That's, nothing unusual or less common there. So we've got some nice words for increase. What about the opposite? What about decrease? Let's have a look. So we've got sink, slip back, dip, drop, and plummet. Some great words. I'll be honest, I don't use these every day. And that's the point. We should be using nice vocabulary that we don't use every day to impress the examiners. And again, some examples of their use. So the cost of housing sunk after 2008, again, past tense. Use of electricity slipped back, ed, past tense, again, dipped, drop or dropped, depending on the structure, plummet or plummets. So again, check the form, depending on your sentence structure. But some good vocabulary, all describing a decrease. All right, what else? Next, some more good vocabulary. What else do we have next? Okay, so we're now actually describing, it's actually missing on here. Let me change the color. Let's cut up, let me undo that. Change it from highlighter, okay. What are we looking at now? How much change? Is there a big change? We can use these words here for a big change. It's gone from 5% to 65%, a really big change. So we can describe that change with the words significant, dramatic, sudden, substantial, or sharp. Okay, I do like significant. Nice word for writing task 1, a significant increase. Okay, or it rocketed significantly, depending on the usage. So let's have a look at these words for examples. So yeah, a significant change, dramatic shift, and so on. These are adjectives, but we can also use them as adverbs. So let's reveal. And you'll notice an adverb all with ly. And this is changing or modifying the verb. Okay, don't worry if you're not, you can't remember your grammar days. Let's have a look at the examples. It should become familiar. So it changed significantly. So we're actually modifying or describing the change. It shifts dramatically. Again, we're describing the shift. Has risen suddenly. We're describing how much did it rise. So it depends on the usage. But again, 5 nice word choices to describe a big change. That something big has happened. Okay, one more vocabulary, I think. Let's have a look next. Oh no, that was it. Grammatical range and accuracy. The last area, And then we've got a report that I want to work through, last half an hour. So again, grammatical range and accuracy. Just before I start, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with coherence and cohesion. You'll notice that there's an and here. So it's asking you to do two things, okay? So let's split the table. Okay, the top half is all about your grammatical range. So this is about the sentence structure. Okay, and really you've got a choice between simple or complex, okay? And again, even simpler, short or long sentences. That's what it's really talking about. Long sentences separated by a comma. It's going to get you a higher band score. Again, I'm not going to spend too long on this, but the band 5, limited range of sentence structures, mostly simple. My name is Barry, short sentence. The boys like soccer the most, simple sentence. Next is cricket, simple sentence. Then martial arts, simple sentence. If they try to use a complex sentence, limited success. So the grammar is falling apart. Okay, there's lots of mistakes with the longer sentences. Now, what about the 6? Well, we've got both simple and complex. So again, we're looking at about 50-50 here. 50% of your sentences are short, 50% of them are long. What about now? We've now got a variety of complex sentences, more than 50%, maybe 50 to 75 approximately are complex. And of course, the 8, we have a wide range of complex. More than 75% of your sentences are complex or long. Quite simple, really, when you think about it. Long sentences are good, short sentences are bad. But now we've got the accuracy as well. You've got to get both of them right. Of course, as you would expect, frequent errors, punctuations, problems cause difficulty for the reader. They're really having a hard time in understanding the meaning of what you're saying. The 6, we got some errors, but communication is clear. So I know what you're trying to say, but it's just not quite right. And then the 7, many error-free sentences. Good control over grammar, but just an occasional error. Not many. 1 or 2 errors, you'll still be able to get a 7. And of course, the 8, most sentences error-free, as you would expect. But you've got to get them both to get the high band score. So just quickly, some tips, suggestions for grammatical range to begin with. So next. Long sentences, the use of a comma. And this is a really quick one to fix. Read your reports, okay? After you've written them, have a look. Can you spot any short sentences? Okay, if you can spot them and there's a period or a full stop, change that period into a comma. Combine it with the next sentence. Make it into a long sentence with the use of a comma. Okay, and you're going to get a high band score for grammatical range. That's simple. Really easy one to fix. Okay, but what about the accuracy, your errors? Let's reveal next page. So how can you improve your accuracy? Well, most people do make mistakes. You know, grammar is difficult. There's so many rules to remember. A lot of it just comes with time and quite a long time as well to get your grammar near perfect. We all make mistakes, even native speakers, you know, from time to time do make mistakes. But how are you going to improve your score? Well, that's where the regular review comes in. If you keep practicing at home and you're doing the same thing again and again and again, well, it's no surprise that your grammar will not improve. I think, was it Einstein, Albert Einstein, that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting the outcome to be different. So, you know, if you're getting a low band score for your grammar and you keep doing the same thing, well, it's no surprise. But how will you improve your grammar? You need an expert, okay? You need somebody with a high level of English grammar to be able to point out these mistakes and then to tell you what the correct thing should be. So not just, that's wrong, but it needs to be that's wrong and this is how you can correct it. Learn from your mistakes so that when it comes to the exam, you're not making these mistakes or not as often. 1 or 2 mistakes, that's fine. You know, you can still get a 7, possibly an 8 with only 1 or 2 small mistakes. So regular review. And again, the right Ielts preparation center will help you. Again, if you're if you've got somebody that's got a 6 or a 6.5 or even a 7, are they going to identify all of the grammatical mistakes? Will they notice them? Probably no. Okay. Next. Okay, so just a quick review, 4 areas. If you can achieve all 4, that's what the examiners are looking for. So answer the question with a nice overview. Don't forget the overview. You should be using paragraphs, remember 3, with cohesive devices, some nice language, not too much, you know, not too much. You don't need to go crazy, but some nice word choice, long sentences, error-free, all of those, that's going to get you a nice high band score. Okay, so I did mention I want to spend the last half hour looking at an actual question and doing some actual writing. Now, this is the part where I do want some input from you guys. So chat box at the ready. Let's see how we get on. Let's have a look at the question first of all. Okay, let's have a look. Here's our question. So 20 minutes. What does it say? The line graph below shows changes in the amount and type of fast food consumed by Australian teenagers from 1975 to 2000. Okay. And then we've got the graph below. We've got the red line, fish and chips, green line, hamburgers, blue line, pizza. Look for the trends. What about ranking? 1975, what was the most popular? Fish and chips. Was fish and chips the most popular by the end? No. Decreased. It actually ended up as the least popular. That's a trend. I've not mentioned the numbers. What about the green and the blue line? Similar pattern. There's a trend. There's a key feature. Hamburgers and pizza. A pizza. That's a combination of pizza with peaches. Oh no, I don't think that would taste good. Where was I? Yeah, the green and the blue line. Hamburgers and pizzas were not popular to begin with. However, by the end of the period, they were liked, really popular. They were enjoyed a lot. Key trend. Okay, let's have a go at this question. Let's see how we get on. Okay, you should spend about 20 minutes. So we've got lots of time, hopefully. All right, next slide. Okay, there we go. That's can we go back? Can we go back? There we go. Yeah, let's leave it on this for now. I want you guys to have some input. I've got the words along the left-hand side. I hope you can see them. I've got the keywords to the topic. The line graph shows the changes in the amount and type of fast food consumed by Australian teenagers between 1975 to 2000. That's the keywords to the topic. Okay. I want to start with the line graph. Okay, I'm going to do this on the chat box. All right. So, number one, line graph. Can you give me some alternative words, please? Again, chat box. Alternative words that mean the same as line graph. What do you think? The line graph. Can you say that in another way? Let's see how good you are. This is synonyms. All right, the line graph. You should be able to come up with at least one. Don't disappoint. Line graph. Oh, either everyone's really shy or you're struggling. Here we go. Who's this? Giselle. Linear diagram. Perfect. Curve chart. Maybe not so much of a curve. It was a line graph, but chart on its own would be okay. Yeah, the diagram, the chart. What do we have here? See if I can pronounce this. The Diwan Peralta. I've never heard that. I'm not familiar with that. Line plot. Okay, horizontal graph. Yeah, good. That's fine. Okay, let's move on to number two. Yeah, the diagram. Yeah, simple. The diagram, the picture. What's this? The Marian Andros Estrada. Where are these coming from? Wow. Oh my, I think you're making these up. You can't be serious. The Connie Pappas edge graph. I've never heard of these. The image, the picture. Yeah. What about number two? It shows. So can we say that in a different way? It shows. Good, yeah, it depicts. That's a nice one. I do like that one. It depicts. Any more? It shows, it depicts. Good, it illustrates. There's a nice one. Yeah, illustrate or illustrate, depending on the sentence. Yeah, depicts and illustrates. Can we find a few more before we move on? Think about the word show or shows. Illustrates, depicts. I often find that when you've got one, it can often lead to another one. If you're struggling with the word show or shows and you've got illustrates, think about the word illustrates. Exemplify, yeah, present or presents, appears, yeah. Oh, do you know, I've just realized. Do you know, oh God, how silly of me. Lynn Art, present, yeah. Do you know, I thought that was like the name of a title, but that's the person that's come up with it. Yeah. Do you know, oh, I'm being really silly. I thought these were like, you did this with the graph. Yeah, my mistake. And that's a really silly mistake of me. I thought these were like famous people that had come up with the... Oh, good one. Okay. Reveals. Yeah, good one, Lynn. Gives. Perfect. Okay, what about number three? Changes. Can we think of some words for changes? I think elicited, that was for show or shows. What about change? A bit more difficult. What about if I help you? DIFF. Modifications, convert or conversion. Yeah. Word beginning DIFF for change. Differences or differentiates. Yeah, both would be fine. Okay, let's keep going. What about number four, the amount or the amounts? I think it was actually amount in the question. The amount. We're getting a sneak peek. The price, absolutely, yeah. The price, the quantity, yeah. So think about quantity, the volume, the total, the sum. So I've got some good ones for amount. Next, type, the type of food eaten. So think about that in the sentence. Can you use a different word? The type of food that's eaten. The variety, definitely, yeah, variety. The variety of food that's eaten, that works. The kind of food, definitely, yeah, some good ones here. Now, this should be an interesting one. Categories is another one. This should be an interesting one. Consumed. Food that is consumed. What can we replace this word with? There's an easy one. There is an easy one. 3 letters. Eat, yeah, food that is, or eaten, maybe. Yeah. Can we get some less common? Not deplete, no. Do you really absorb your food? I'm not sure about absorbing food. Absorb could be used for consumed in certain topics, but not for food. Ingested, yes, yeah, ingested is a good one. I was hoping for something like that. Consumed, ingested, definitely. What about devour? Yeah, devoured. There's a really nice one. Good. We're getting some nice vocabulary here. Thank you, guys. What about Australian? Locals? What kind of locals are we're not saying? Yeah, this was kind of a trick one. Sometimes it's just not possible. Aussie, yeah, do you know what, actually, Dawn? Yeah, Aussie would work. However, the point that I wanted to make, if you're struggling and you just can't think of an alternative, keep it the same. Okay, go with Australian. But yeah, you know what, Dawn? Aussie, definitely. Couple to go. Teenagers. Youngsters, definitely good. Youth, yeah. Any more? I'll give you a hint, the one that I'm thinking of. Tell me the numbers. There's a good hint. Tell me the numbers. Teenagers is not a good paraphrase of the word teenagers. That's copied. So we're looking for alternative. Young ones, yeah. Adolescents, good. Juveniles, there's another one. Think of the numbers. The age, 12, not 12, 13. Yeah, 13 to 19. Teenagers, 13, 14, etc. 19. So yeah, that would work. One more and then we'll move on. 1975 to 2000. Okay. Now you need a start year. So you need 1975 to ... Okay. Can we replace the year 2000? Can we paraphrase that? 1975 to blank. I'll give you a clue. Think about the period of time. How many years is that? Yeah, 25, good. Normally the Ielts questions to the millennium. Yeah, that's nice, actually, the year 2000. That works really well. But yeah, 1975 to 25 years later. And again, once you've got the 25, that leads to a few more options. What about decades? How many? 1975 to ... decades. How many? 2 decades and yeah, or you could just say 2.5. 2.5 decades. Yeah, good. You do need that start year. If you just said a 2.5 decade period, we don't know when that was. So 1975 is the start, 2.5 decades later. Good work. All right, thank you guys. Let's go back to the slide and let's reveal. Let's see if we missed any. Here we go. Figures, information, numbers. Yeah. Reveals, presents, depicts. Exhibits is a good one. Or displays. Changes we struggled with. The evolution. That's a nice one. Modifications, I think we got, or adjustments. The amount. Yep. The type, we got all of those. The fast. Oh, we missed. Oh, I missed that one. Fast food. Convenient food, quick food, readily available food, or takeout food. Yep. Consumed, eaten, and devoured. We got those. Australian, of Australia, maybe. Yeah, we actually got quite a few more for teenagers, adolescents, juveniles is also good. Quarter of a century, there's another one. 25 years, 2.5 decades later. Okay, so we've got lots of good vocabulary. All I'm going to do is just put that together. Choose your combination. Okay, so, you know, any option, choose your combination to build your own introduction. There's lots of alternatives. There's lots of good answers. Let's reveal one that I chose here. Okay, introduction, next. Yeah, let's put it all together. Intro, here we go. The figures compare the evolution in the volume and variety of convenience meals devoured by those aged between 13 and 19 in Australia from 1975 until a quarter of a century later. So I've paraphrased the introduction from the question paper. Okay, I've kept the same structure, I've kept the same word order, and just simply replaced as you go. That's it, nice and easy. I don't want to spend 10 minutes on an intro. There are lots of options to do an introduction. This one for me, nice and quick. If you get stuck, copy the word and move on. Okay, intro finished. What's next? Yeah, done the intro. Now we want the overview. Let's try and identify those key trends again. Next. Okay, overview. We're going to begin with a cohesive device. Remember, no numbers, no data. It's just a movie trailer, what to expect later on. We should aim for 2 overviews, split the data into 2, and then overview 1 and overview 2. So let's have a go. Next. Okay, how are we going to split this? We could split based on time. Okay, so let's choose a different color. I'll go black. So for example, we could split here and we could just have it as 1 and 2. That's one option, splitting based on time. I think it's going to be very difficult to do that. Or we could split based on different types of food. We've got 3, so we're going to have a group of 2 and a group of 1. Any idea, any suggestions? So chat box. How are you going to split? Tell me the groups. Which ones would you put together? What do you think? What's the group? What's group 1 and 2? What's the different ones? Yeah, burgers and pizzas, of course. The green and the blue go together. Okay, so we're talking about join these 2 here. In fact, oh no, I can't draw it on there because fish and chips is in the middle. But yeah, pizza and hamburgers, they will go together. And I can talk about them in the same paragraph. And then fish and chips, that's going to be on its own. It's completely different. It doesn't share any similarities with the pizzas or the hamburgers. Okay, let's reveal. Let's continue. Next. So yeah, you've got to split based on the type of food, and the pizza and the hamburgers do go together. Okay. I think if we're trying to split any other way, we're going to have a hard time. But just be aware that you could be splitting based on time. That would be something to think about. You could also be splitting on volume as well. So maybe, I don't know, maybe number 1 here, number 2 here. Talk about the most important ones first, and then the least important. Again, it doesn't work for this question, but other questions, maybe that would be a logical way. Okay, so look at the numbers, look at the data, and find the logical split. We've got it here. The type of food, that's our split, group 1 and group 2. Okay, next. So we know the split. Let's find the most important features, hamburgers and pizzas. So again, on the chat box, let me know, what's interesting? The green and blue. What's interesting for the red line? What are the key features? How many can we spot? Think about the order of importance. Did it start and finish at the same? Think about the trends, what's happening, anything that's similar. What can you notice? So I'll just give you a few more seconds. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about a complete sentence, just some bullet point ideas, that's fine. Okay, yeah, so we've got Chris. What did you say, Chris? They've both increased through the years. When you say they, I presume you're talking about hamburgers and pizzas. So yeah, I agree. Hamburgers and pizzas definitely increased. And we can say the opposite then with fish and chips. Over time, fish and chips became less popular. There's a key trend. Remember the ranking, put them in order. Okay. So we can say fish and chips was the most popular, but by the end, it was the least popular. The green one, hamburgers, by the end was number 1. So let's reveal our key features next. Here we go. Pizza was the least popular. Hamburgers are the most popular by the end. And they followed a similar trend. Yeah, you mentioned that one. Fish and chips, it started off the most favorite, but by the end, least favorite. Okay. But yeah, no numbers, no percentages, no data, no year, nothing. All right, let's continue. Let's continue next. So, here we go. There's our intro. We're now going to add the overview. So let's reveal. Okay, so overview 1, pizza and hamburger. So they began very low, followed a similar trend, rising over the end. Hamburgers number 1. So that's all about overview 1, group 1, hamburgers and pizzas. What about overview 2, fish and chips? Let's continue. Fish and chips was originally the most preferred choice. Over time, the opposite became true. Yeah. So most students only have a really short overview. It can clearly be seen that there are lots of changes. The end. Okay, that's not enough. You've got to tell me more than one key feature, as many as you can, to give it a complete overview. And of course, it's going to help your word count. So why not? All right, this is paragraph 1, complete intro plus 2 overviews. Next. So yeah, complete paragraph 1. Next. Now, paragraph 1 finished. We're going to talk about pizza and hamburger. This is making me hungry. Okay, don't forget your cohesive devices, your linking words. So let's have a look at paragraph 2 next. So remember, we've got to summarize the information. We've got to report the main features and make comparisons. That's what we need to do. You've got, so let's reveal. Okay, so we're going to start with hamburgers because it's more important than pizza. Again, remember that structure. Start with the most important. Green and blue. Green is bigger. There's more. So I started with, wait a minute. So we're missing something here. That does not match. That's talking about fish and chips. Do we have the other paragraph? Yeah, that's fish and chips. That's paragraph 3. I think you put this together wrong. Is there a paragraph 2? And then maybe we can go back. Now I've got you, haven't I? Where's my, what? There should be another paragraph. There was on my slide. Where is it? Oh, you've missed pizzas and hamburgers. What? Okay. All right, we've missed, or not we. I know somebody's missed it. We only have paragraph 3. Okay, right. So this is, ignore that line. This is the red line. The red line, fish and chips. Paragraph 3. Why is it paragraph 3? We've got on the other hand. Okay, we've got change. We've already spoken about pizza and hamburgers. Now, on the other hand, do we have a complete report, by the way? Maybe we can have a look at it later. On the other hand, fish and chips was the most popular in 1975. So we started off here at the beginning. 10 times more than hamburgers. Yeah, so hamburgers is down here. There's the comparison. 10 and 100, 10 times more. Okay. 10 times more than hamburgers at 100 times within a 52-week period, within a year. 100. That's what it started at. The first 10 years, so 75 to 85. Okay, so we're now going to here. Stop at 85, sorry. The first 10 years. The levels fluctuated. So again, good vocabulary, up and down. However, thereafter, it plummeted for a decade and a half, 15 years, all the way down to the year 2000. Okay, and it became the least chosen of the 3, being consumed just under 40 times per annum yearly. Don't forget the numbers. Comparisons, again, what is interesting to note is that fish and chips finished being eaten well under half the occasions than that of pizza. So we're comparing 40 and 80. We're comparing those two. 40 and 80, under half, okay, or about the numbers. Okay, let's continue. Do we have the complete report all together? Because maybe we can have a look at paragraph 2. What's on the next slide? Okay, next. Yeah, hello, next. Where are you? Can we move on to the next slide? We're frozen in time. Okay. While we are waiting, then let's begin the Q&A session. Okay. Yeah. Technical issues. Okay. redo that. There we go. Okay, technical issues. We were actually nearly finished. I was hoping to get paragraph 2 in there. Here we go. We're back. There it is. Oh, that was the reason for the delay. Okay. Yeah, that's not paragraph 3. Can we go full screen? Or is that we're missing something? So let me change that. That's not paragraph 3. This is paragraph 2. I don't know, I'll have to check my slide, but it might have been my slide. Okay, so where were we? Green line, hamburgers to begin with. Looking at hamburgers in 1975. So we're on green. Okay, 1975. It was only eaten about 10 times every 12 months. However, it skyrocketed. We're describing the green line, big increase over the first 10 years, the first decade, reaching roughly 85. Yep, so that's it's about here. Afterward, growth continued, but at a slower rate. Yep. And by the year 2000, it was eaten 100 times annually. Yeah. So all the way through to the end, 100. So it's 10 times more than what it began. Started at 10, finished at 100. What about pizza? Do we have the second part to paragraph 2? Next. There we go. That's it. Blue line. So pizza, likewise. Okay, so likewise, all of this above. It began at a low amount, around half that of hamburgers. It was about 5. So blue line in the beginning. And took off at a rapid speed. Soaring to 85, again, soaring. Good vocabulary. To 85 after 20 years, so 75 to 95. Okay. Where it then plateaued. What am I saying? Plateaued, no change. It's constant. It's not going up, it's not going down, it's level. It plateaued for the final 5 years, 95 to 2000. Okay. I think if we move on to the next slide, we can actually see all 3 paragraphs together, I think. Can we move on to the next slide? There we go. Yeah. So yeah, to begin with, that's paragraph 2. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we've got everything here. Remember task achievement. We've got all the data there. We've got some comparisons. We have a nice, clear overview that identifies all of the key features. Task achievement, done. What about coherence and cohesion? Well, coherence, we've got 3 nice paragraphs, simple. What about the cohesion? It can clearly be seen that, but we have however, and again, but in paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 to begin with, however, afterwards, likewise, and then paragraph 3, on the other hand. What else do we have? What is interesting to note, that also works. So we've got nice paragraphs and linked together throughout CC. Lexical resource, yeah, some good vocabulary, especially paragraph 1, the evolution, devoured, quarter of a century, consumption. What else do we have? Skyrocketed, the vocabulary for an increase or decrease, skyrocketed. What else did we say? Rapid speed, soaring, plateaued, and then fish and chips. What happened? It fluctuated and then it plummeted. Okay, being consumed. So yeah, lexical resource, good vocabulary, grammatical range and accuracy, long sentences, mostly error-free, or well, all error-free. Okay, so next slide. I think we're at the Q&A. Yes, okay. So let's spend a bit of time on this one. I've got some promotional material that I've got to cover later on. Just some prices and some offers and details of why you should come to World English, why you should choose us to help you. So now's the time. Writing task one, the questions that you just don't know, you're not sure about. Is it okay to do this? Can I do that? What should I do in this situation? All of those questions, type away, let me know. Don't be shy. You know, if you're thinking of a question, probably somebody else is thinking of the same one. So what do we have? Anybody on Facebook? Think about writing task one. Or writing in general, actually. I don't mind. Okay, yeah, so just thinking of your questions. While you're thinking of questions, I'll try and anticipate. Oh, here we go. Question coming in now. Here they go. So Sheena, intro and overview can be put in one paragraph. Well, you know, that's a nice point, Sheena. Some people will suggest to separate one paragraph for the intro, one paragraph for the overview. This is just my personal opinion. I do like to combine them. But if you were to separate them, it's not wrong. You could, in theory, have 4 paragraphs. That would be okay. I just feel that sometimes the intro can be quite small and you might just have one line as a paragraph, which never looks good in my opinion. But both would be okay. What's this? Lona Wolf. Is that your real name? When is the correct time to use had increased and seen or witness an increase? Okay, so we're talking about the tense, past, present, and future. If something had increased, what do you think? Past, present, or future? It's the past. Okay, it had increased is all in the past. Most task one questions are actually past tense, but just watch out for the ones that talk about today or future predictions. Now, again, seen or witnessed an increase, think about the time. So if it's in the past, it can be seen, or you could say it can be witnessed that there was an increase. Again, there was an increase, would be used as a combination. Viduni, is it okay to miss some important details? No, not the important ones. Okay. However, if there's nothing interesting, so let's look at that fish and chip one again. Let's talk about that fish and chip one or the pizza one. What happened if the line goes completely left to right, doesn't go up, doesn't go down? Do we need to mention anything in the middle? No. For me, talk about the start, talk about the end. That's it. You can ignore all of the period in the middle. So anything that's not standing out, you can leave out. It also depends on the length of data. You know, if you've got lots and lots and lots of data, it's impossible to mention every single item. You are going to have to be more selective. So it does depend on the question. Some questions are really short with the data, maybe only 1 or 2 items, and really you're going to have to talk about all of them. So you're going to have to use your own thoughts. Generally, if it's not interesting, you can leave it out. Okay, Clarice, can we also write flatten the curve instead of plateaued? Yeah, plateaued it is a hard one to spell because the spelling changes when you change the form. If you say it was a plateau, it's got an X in the spelling, and plateaued is you eat it. Yeah. Flatten the curve. Yeah, you can use that to describe a period of no change. You can also, there's more vocabulary as well. You can say it's consistent, it remained consistent, it's steady, it leveled out, so there's lots of expressions that can be used. But yeah, flatten the curve, good one. What's this? In the actual exam, will we be given an extra sheet for us to write our planning? If you need more paper, it is available. However, I actually find that not most, probably all of my planning is actually done on the question paper. I write on the diagram, write on the bar chart, circle the key features. And then you can, if you want to, you can actually tick them off as you've mentioned them. So rather than on a separate page, I actually find just maybe putting an arrow or circling something, writing a note next to the graph is also a good way to plan as well. Okay, but yeah, if you want an extra sheet, yeah, they will give you more paper. Just one thing to be careful with, I would actually label the extra paper because it's going to be an answer sheet. So just make it clear that this is your plan and not your answer. You don't want it to be counted as part of your answer. Okay, and of course the opposite is true, that if you are continuing, again, just make it clear that this is, page 2 continued, so that it's really nice and simple. There's no confusion. You don't end up with what we had earlier, paragraph 3 and then paragraph 2. So yeah, just make it really clear. Okay, good. Any more questions? Writing task 1. So whilst you're having a think, I'll try and think of some more points that you might, concerns that you might have. For me, I would recommend a minimum of 10 writing task 1s that you should practice before the exam. A minimum of 10, maybe even more actually, because there is, with writing task 1, there is a variety of questions. It could be pie charts, line graphs, bar charts, tables. Then you might get the flow charts or the processes. And again, it could even be a map. So you don't want to take the chance that you get one of the questions that you've never practiced before. So you should be tackling all of the possible different question styles. But again, it's the same technique. 3 paragraphs, paragraph 1, 2, and 3. The first thing that I do is think about splitting into group 1 and group 2. Okay, once you've got a logical way to split, everything becomes much easier. Split into the boys and the girls, the most expensive and the least expensive, or time or popularity. Think about the split and then look at group 1 and just put it in order. Start with the highest or the most important and work your way down to the least important. And then do the same for group 2. Nice and simple. It's going to save you time looking at the question, thinking, oh, how do I put this into a report? Okay. So same every question, even for maps, I do that as well. Yeah, quite often you have 2 maps. It could be one before and one after. Well, there's group 1 and there's group 2. Same thing. What other tips do we have? Upper and lower case. I quite often get asked this question. My handwriting, not very neat. I prefer to write in capitals. Is that okay? No, it's not. It's a writing exam. the examiners are checking your grammar. Okay, they want to know that you understand when to use a capital letter and when to use lowercase. You know, a person's name, a location, company name. You know, if you're writing about Google or Facebook, it should be a capital G or a capital F. Countries, cities. If you're writing about Philippines, it should be a capital P. Thailand, capital T, and so on. So yeah, beginning of a sentence obviously should be capital letter. So not all capitals, please. Okay, any last questions? Any last questions? If you do, that's fine. We can always come back. Let's go back to the slide. Okay, we've got a few more slides that I just want to cover. So can we continue? Here we go. So yeah, I mentioned this earlier. Just let me pause for a second. I think we do have a question. Lona Wolf. For the map question, if they show the past and the present, should we not describe the past? Of course you should. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Group 1 and Group 2. I always split the question into 2 parts. Group 1 and Group 2. Maps quite often have the past and the present, 2 maps. So there's your groups. The past should be in 1 paragraph, a separate paragraph. The present should be in a different paragraph. It should not be combined. You should be separating the information. So yes, different paragraphs. Okay. Why choose World English? There are lots and lots of IELTS preparation companies out there. Okay, so why would you go with World English? Well, first of all, it's just not easy or possible to self-review. I mentioned about grammar. Okay, how do you know that you've made a mistake? You know, if you keep doing the same thing again and again, how are you going to improve? And this is not just for writing, by the way. Speaking as well, if you keep making a mistake in your grammar when you're speaking, you will never improve. But not just grammar, you know, think about all 4 of the areas for writing. How do you know if your cohesive devices are good enough? You know, who's going to tell you? How do you know if you've answered all parts of the question or that your overview is enough? How do you know if your vocabulary is good, if it's accurate, if you're not repeating? So you do need an expert to point these things out. Again, it applies for speaking as well. You know, are you giving enough answer? Are you speaking fluently? Are you using good vocabulary? You need an expert to listen. And it's quite difficult to listen and give feedback while somebody's speaking. It is a difficult skill, so you do need an expert to help you. What happens if you're self-reviewing, listening, and the reading exam? Some people do very well. You know, with listening and reading, the answers are there, and it's just a matter of finding them. But what happens if you're having a hard time? Who are you going to turn to? You know, is it maybe your friend if they got a 6.5 or a 7? Are they really motivated to help you? You know, they've done their exam, they've passed it, they've forgotten all about IELTS now. So yeah, if you're having a hard time and you're on your own, even for listening and reading, it's good to have that support, but especially speaking and writing. That's where the preparation companies really help you out a great deal. And at World English, you've already seen the instructors, only 9s, you know, band 9. So if you're having a hard time, if you feel that you're a 5 or a 6 and you need to get to the 7, well, you know, if you're relying on somebody that's a 6.5 to get you over the line, you're going to have a hard time. If you're going to use somebody that's a 9 to bring you up to the 7, definitely possible. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, of a trainer. What band score are you? How many years have you been training? It's your money. How much does it cost to take the IELTS exam? I think right now it's gone up again. I think it's 11,650. That's for paper-based and computer, same price. It's a lot of money. And there is no maximum amount of times that you can take IELTS. They will accept your money every time. It is actually cheaper in the long run to get a proper review, to get to the right level, and then take your exam only once. Make sure you're at the right level. Have some feedback from an expert English user that's telling you, right, you are now only a 6. You're not ready for the exam. You're going to waste nearly 12,000 peso. Okay. Okay, so we've got a few more questions, actually. In fact, there's a few that I've missed here. Flatten the curve. Yeah, I missed these. Where did these appear from? How and when should I use the word respectively? Okay, I like the word respectively. Don't worry, I'm going to come back to the slide in a minute. I want to get these questions done. I like the word respectively. It is a good word. If I've got lots of data, I will group it together into a big sentence. Remember the sports one that we looked at earlier? The boys like football, running, cricket, and martial arts. And they account for 35, 25, 21, 19% respectively, in the same order. So if you're going to keep repeating it, it's going to cause a problem with your vocabulary. So my advice, it's a really nice word. Do not repeat it. What did I just say about respectively? I gave a definition, in the same order. So you can actually use that as an alternative. A definition is a good way to use, to paraphrase or to use synonyms. So I can do the same thing and just say, in that order. It works the same as respectively, and it avoids the repetition. What's this one? Another one, Lone Wolf. If we are comparing two pie charts, but 2 different years, would it be better to use saw an increase instead of had increase? No, I don't like saw an increase. That's not good grammar. It had increased. Yeah, that's fine. That's more natural. It just flows nicer. Question from Jam. Normally, how many sentences per paragraph? Okay. For intro, body, conclusion. For writing task 1, that's a difficult one to answer because it does depend on the question. Some questions have more data. Therefore, you're going to have to write more. So again, with the intro, some questions have long topics. So you're going to have a longer intro. Some have more key features. So you're going to have a longer overview. So I can't really answer that question with a number, but your structure is going to be the same. Intro, look at the topic and paraphrase. Overview, I aim for two overviews. Depends on the key features. If there's a lot of key features, I'll try and get as many as I can. Obviously, I'm aware of the 20 minutes. The body paragraphs, again, depends on the data. Just one thing, there is no conclusion in academic task 1. Task 2, yes. Okay, a few more questions. What's this? Can we use the words in the chart description? It's not necessarily a mark reduction, but I always look at the words that are used on the question paper, not just for my intro, also for the body paragraphs. I mean, pizza, fish and chips, and hamburgers. Maybe hamburgers you can rephrase to burgers, possibly. Fish and chips, no. Pizza, no. There's just no way to paraphrase them. However, If it's football, then yeah, you can use soccer. That would be a good one. Martial arts, you could say, you know, fighting skills, maybe. So definitely always think about using your language as much as you can, as often as possible. So yeah, always think about paraphrasing, show off your vocabulary. What's this one? Do you have an online class for computerized IELTS? No. It's the same questions, by the way. So it doesn't matter if you're taking IELTS by computer or paper-based. It's exactly the same level, the same question. There's no difference other than you're going to be typing your answer on a computer station. That's it. However, online classes are using a computer. You know, we are going to be typing. We are going to be using the screen. So there is an element there. Personally, which one do you prefer? You can probably guess which one I prefer. I'm not going to say my age. However, I do prefer the paper-based. Yeah, I'm a little bit old school. I prefer the paper-based for a reason, and that's just making notes. You know, if I'm analysing the chart, I want to scribble and circle. Yeah, you can do this online, sure, but I just find that my planning comes more naturally using paper. But it's the same question, it doesn't matter. If you're the question that you should be asking is which one do you prefer, not me. You know, if you're quicker on a computer, go with it. You can actually practice, by the way. I know that British Council, IDP, and IELTS official websites, you can practice computer IELTS questions. So you can maybe make the decision after having a practice with them. Okay. Oh, last couple of minutes. We need to go back to the slide. Okay. Why choose World English? I nearly forgot. Yeah, so expert level of English teachers to help you. You've got access to all of the teachers. Yeah, small, you know, but highly trusted. We have many years behind us of helping people achieve their band score. Of course, not a factory approach. I know a few preparation centres that it's all about the numbers. You know, you're going to be sat, yes, at home, but you're going to be one of 50 or one of 100 watching a lecture. There's just no way that everybody can ask questions. You're going to have, you know, an hour worth of Q&A. It's not a factory approach. We actually prefer the one-on-one approach because the results are better. You know, a student, think about how are you going to improve? You're more likely to improve if you are in a one-on-one with a teacher. You can ask a question, they can go at your pace, they can encourage you with specific things, they can actually tailor and change the teaching to match your level and your style. Daily guidance, you know, any questions that you have that come up, you're going to get an answer straight away, same day. Any help you need. Also the flexibility, you can choose the hours, you can choose the lessons as well. How about that? You know, if you're having a hard time with writing, you can actually arrange 10 one-on-one sessions just for writing. Again, if you're having a hard time with speaking, you can do 10 just on speaking. Or you can have a mixture. You can mix and match. You can go speaking, writing, back to speaking, then to writing, whatever you prefer. That's the flexibility. It's here to help you. No dubious offers. What's a dubious offer? I find the strange offers like lifetime review. You know, what are they trying to tell you? You're going to be studying forever. Why would they tell you that? They've got no confidence in helping you progress. Okay, what's next? A few more few more slides to go through. So yeah, there are discounts. Right now, you can get 108 hours. So a whole month of interactive lectures, drills, and the most important thing, the one-on-one coaching. Okay, yeah, you can sit and watch the lectures. You can actually watch YouTube at home. Is that going to help you? Well, you know, I really want to play the guitar. And no matter how many videos I watch, I'm terrible at the guitar. What do I need? I need the practice. I need a one-on-one coach. Okay. So you can enroll now. Oh, go back. We didn't do the price. It was, yeah, there we go. It was just under 4,800 peso. It's down to 4,299. That offer is available until, first of all, that's not long. That's not, yeah, 10, 11 days. Yeah, so offers available now for the 108-hour course, includes the one-on-one coaching that you can tailor. You can have that flexibility of what you want. Okay, next. Yeah, there are lots of materials and model answers for writing task 1 and essays and the drill book as well, so you can practice all of those. If you buy 2, you get the third one for free. If you're interested, there are lots of task 1 questions. So we've got the graphs, pie charts, maps, flow charts, all with model answers. Just 1 second. If you're interested in this, our contact details are on screen at the moment. So we've got the Facebook, Twitter, website, mobile number 0917 657 8606. But any questions that you've got, please contact our support staff. They will be happy to help you with any question. Okay, what's next? Yeah, here's our webpage. You can contact us on here. Send us a quick message. So go on to the Facebook page, World English Reviews. Send us a message through there. That's always monitored. So you'll get a reply really quickly. Okay, what's next? There we go. Yeah, we're at the end. We made it. So I hope you enjoyed today. Okay, I hope, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you found it useful and you've actually learned and feel more confident about writing task 1. Main thing, continue to practice. It does get easier. Honestly, it does get easier. And if you're looking for the one-on-one to get you to that next level, to get you ready for the Ielts exam, please contact us and hopefully we can help you. And maybe I will be seeing some of you for one-on-ones very soon. Okay. All right, I think we're at the end, unless there was any last points. A little bit over time, but that's okay. Okay, yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, take care, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
On behalf of IFNG family, see you again on the next lecture.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.